All verse rising soul family. Peace to the God stars and goddesses. Now, a lot of you spiritual people, when you first created your social media accounts, you had the expectations of a lot of local people that see you in person to be your main supporters on social media. A lot of you spiritual people had this high expectation for this, especially you spiritual people that grew up in these redneck locations on this earth. And you found out as a spiritual individual, a lot of your supporters are people that support your social media that live far away from you, whether it's like far long distance within the same country you're in or in a whole nother country. So a lot of you spiritual people, I can tell you this myself. Like I would used to kill, like let me tell you this, I would used to kill myself hoping I would kill myself on social media platforms hoping locals to show me love, right? But then as I grew in my spiritual journey, I realized that the locals is not meant for me in my spiritual journey. The people that connect with me on my spiritual journey are people that never saw me in person. And this is the stuff that a lot of spiritual people have to accept. You have to accept this. Like literally. Like don't get on social media and having this high expectation for locals to show you support, because the main people that will see you in person, they only gonna have a false perception of who they think you are, and they'll downplay you. They'll downplay all of your goals because they see you in person. Whereas the people that never met you in person, they'll be the people that will actually support your vision. That's something to think about. Like for example, I can tell you this. Let's say you had a spiritual person. Let's say you had a spiritual person that probably grew up in the redneck Louisiana, right? With a bunch of let's man, let's just say this. Let's say you took a spiritual person who grew up in Louisiana, right? And this spiritual person, they're posting things of something that like people in California or people in Hungary, people in Jamaica, people in somewhere in Trinidad and St. Lucia, Dominica would be posting, right? Because a lot of the rednecks in Louisiana, whether they melanated rednecks, Middle East rednecks, or European rednecks, cannot relate to. Look, that spiritual person is not gonna have people in Louisiana showing love to their page, right? Because let me tell you this, most of the people that show me love to my page, they even be in United Kingdom, Nigeria, Cameroon, Ethiopia, Botswana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, Italy, most of the individual Honduras, you feel me? The list goes on. Any place far away from the south of USA, that's where most of my spiritual family shows me most of my support, right? For my whole accent, the way I think, I'm not a redneck. I'm not a redneck. I'm not a Confederate flag worshipper. I despise anything that goes against African spirituality. So these people in Louisiana is not gonna show me no love on social media. Definitely not the people in Mississippi. Definitely not the people in Arkansas. Definitely not the people in North South region in USA, because majority of people in the South are rednecks, regardless of their ethnicity. So it's like me on my spiritual journey, being on social media, most of the people that show me love on social media, these are proper accent speaking people. Like for reals. Like so like me me being on my fitness journey ever since I was like 17, so family, and I'm 28, gonna go on 29 in 2024. A lot of these people in Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas never show me no love because they know I don't live this soulless vibrational redneck lifestyle that they like to live. So it's like it's whatever. Okay, like locals that might see me in person, you know, they're not gonna show me no love on social media. So I threw all that high expectations out the window and just focus on the people who never met me in person to be the ones to, be meant for my journey. So like this is the things about social media that people stress on. They're hoping for individuals that see them in person a lot to be supporting them on social media, hoping that they be the first people to, see their creations, etc. But it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that for people on a spiritual journey. It doesn't work like that, soul fam. Like I tell you this, like when it comes to social media, family, like look, like a lot of locals, especially if you're a spiritual person and you're living in these redneck locations, a lot of these local rednecks, man, like they're gonna mess with your P's and your Z's and your Q's, man. Like this is not a joke, mate. This is not a joke at all, mate. So when you're on social media, just keep your focus on long distance people, because a lot of locals, not all locals is just good people. Not all locals are kinfolk. Like this is real facts right here. And for a lot of my African and Caribbean speakers out there, I'm gonna translate that. Sashime falakine solahine baletine natenu shamian swahino mafine falakito sarai hadmodite madeniada tua marite talaisho kanese. So don't be on social media having this high expectational hope that a lot of these locals is going to be your main supporters. It's not going to happen. Focus on the people that never met you in person to be your biggest supporters on social media. That's just how it is on your spiritual journey. Because let me tell you this, you as a spiritual person, you as a child, you probably, whether you were homeschooled or you probably went to these public schools or something, all of these individuals from elementary, middle school, high school, or etc., you're hoping for them to be your biggest supporters on the social media platforms, but it does not work that way. It does not work that way for a spiritual people of the Most High, aka spiritual people of Uncle Life, of African spirituality. It does not work that way. Your biggest supporters are going to be your spiritual family that you did not meet in person when you were a child, because our spiritual people have been separated from our spiritual family in this fucking oppressing, demonic ass, soulless vibrational NPC matrix system that the slave owners had invented. But that's all I got to say so far.